Thanks. Cracky, I think everybody's on holiday. Shoot. Seriously, YouTube, you're not running? Starting to think we're not live. Yeah, it looks like we are live. Hello, Joshua. Just seems like everybody's asleep. No, I guess that's to be expected. Europe hasn't woken up. The United States has gone to sleep, and Australia is about to start its weekend, a long weekend for many of us, which means getting stupidly drunk or burnt or goodness knows what else. What have I got here? Got a MacBook that just arrived. MacBook Air. What's wrong with you? You are a 1466. Hey, Greg. I was planning on doing the iPhone, but this MacBook's turned up, so I may as well have a look at that. Because the MacBook's going to be a paid job, whereas the iPhone was just me stuffing around. Let's see, is the audio okay? Yeah, it seems good enough. Hey, Fi. 12:30 a.m. Well, that's the time of the day where everything starts getting interesting. Actually, to be fair, it's probably more like 11 o'clock in the evening for me. That's when I start to wake up. And then I've got about, I don't know, an hour before I crash. Alright, well, guess we're going to have a look at this MacBook Air, see what's going on. I'm a little bit disappointed. I was in a couple of auctions. Geez, I'm really a bit out of shape today. A couple of auctions last night. I was hoping to pick up some 1466s, but I got outbidded. And since they didn't have any solid-state drivers in them, and there was no confirmation that the screen was actually functional, I really couldn't justify going above about $150 for each of them. If they had a known working screen, I've got a missing screw there. Alright. Hey, mobile. Let's see, what do we got? Ooh. Straight into the deep end. We've got a 165 board. Disconnect that. Let's get the solid state drive out because I don't want to be the poor schmuck that has to report back that something went wrong. Oh yeah, it's got an Apple sticker on it. Well, it actually says Apple. Must be genuine. What am I looking for? Anti-static bag. All morning I'm throwing anti-static bags around and now I can't find one for the life of me. Nope. Come on. We'll just put that to the side for the moment. Guess we'll just power it up and see what's going on. Good old keyboard marks on it. I do hate that about these MacBooks a lot, is they get these keyboard marks on the screens. Helps if you get turned on. Spin, green light. Screen doesn't look like it's activating. It's shut back down. And back up again. That's possibly a problem with RTC. Alright, it's really dead quiet. It's just been dead quiet everywhere. So, let's get ourselves a screw jar. And I'm just trying to kill time while I wait to hear back from the banks. Seems like every second day I hear something new. As in, oh, we need this from you now, or I need that, or we're just waiting, or it's enough to give you an ulcer and lots of grey hairs. It would probably help if I had a lot more of a deposit, but 22,000, that's already a pretty decent deposit. Especially on 150,000 loan. So it's not quite 20%, but well, it's only barely 15%. Some grit under here. I hate that. Anyway, yeah, definitely getting grey hairs over this. I probably could have earned the extra 10,000 or so that they want if I hadn't gone for the loan and focused on work. I've been trying to come up with some more marketing stuff for the Flexboard View software and my own repairs. But, you know, these things take time. I've got a screw missing here. This is the short screw. So at least I'm thankful that they haven't put that in. Better that they don't put it in than they do put it in and completely botch up the board. So they made the right choice there. Wow, really is dead quiet. Is the stream stuttering at all? Because the last time I live streamed it was stuttering. But according to... No, I've got no drop frames, so I should be okay. You can stay on there. Get that camera connector off. No, the housing is not reasonable in my area. The prices people are asking are very unreasonable. What we've got a situation where there's a excessively large gap between what sellers are willing to sell for versus what buyers are capable of buying for, and it's causing a bit of trouble. And the banks themselves don't want to be loaning out any money in this area. There's actually a bit of a ban on loans for housing in this area. Mostly because, see, we're a large mining / agricultural sector, and the mining has taken a pretty serious hit. And so you got a lot of properties that are still owing a fair bit of money from the mining boom. But since the boom has died off, you have these people now... God damn, how'd you get trapped under there? You have these people now that basically are probably paying their interest-only type loans. And so the bank doesn't really want to pick up any more of that sort of stuff. But I mean, I'm not going for an interest-only loan. I'm going for a principal and interest. But like I said, the banks are very shy, and it's just not playing in my favour at the moment. And as I said, the sellers are also very reluctant to sell. they want to sell, but they want to sell at a high price. I mean, I know we all do. I mean, that's just human nature. We all want to come out the best we can. Just as much as I want to come out the best I can with this. But, yeah, so either people are going to have to start getting richer, or people are going to have to start accepting that they're going to make losses on their home loan positions when they sell. Okay, get that out of here. No stuttering, that's good. Thank you. So it was just a bit of a problem in the last stream. I think it was because I probably hadn't rebooted for a while and might have had some background processes going off. Let's see, first glances. Not seeing anything really obvious. Well, let's have a look under the microscope. Let's see. There we go. Trying to look at it. Over my clock area is where I want to check. And that looks all pretty damn clean. What on earth is that? That looks like an old flux. Strangely enough, I don't know if this has been worked on or not, but it looks pretty clean so far. Step back out. Usually the stop-start non-stop thing is often a problem with the RTC G3 hot power supply. It's not always, but well, backlight ball's fine. Not that we were expecting trouble there. What's this? I don't know what's caused this liquid here. Yeah, got a lot of balls coming out the side here. Maybe someone's done some rework here. Not sure. Keep that in mind. But there was a sticker there. And a crushed bug. Yeah, see, it's out of focus for you guys. Hang on. Well, it's hard to say. I think a lot of it's also just, man, depth of field is bad here. The boom died for the mining around here prior to the current administration. It started off around about 4 years ago. So that was with the other... We got a scratch there. I think it's just this area. This area has a bad tendency to wax and wane quite severely. Okay, didn't see anything obvious there. I wonder if it's just a bad DC inboard. That'd be a laugh. FRU. I cannot seem to get a proper focus today. FAAAIL field replacement unit. Well, something just fell off. SPI port looks pretty good. Yeah, that's just a bit of fluff. If you compare it to like the market here, if you compare it to Townsville, which is only about 140 k's from here, it's significantly more depressed than Townsville. Townsville at least has some activity. But here, the banks themselves are just like, no, we're not going to give you any money. And to be fair, what isn't helping is that the place that I want to get, the shed is, well, I shouldn't say shockingly or surprisingly, the shed is not listed as a dwelling. Unfortunately, it's a 10B classification, which basically means it's just a shed. Now, I say it's a little shocking because it's got septic, it's got town water, it's got power, it's got access to communications, telephone. It's all been done very well, but unfortunately, for whatever reason, they didn't go that slightly extra step and take it all the way to become a proper dwelling. So as a consequence, now the property, the banks don't really see the value in it because you can't live on it, at least not legally. In spite of the fact that it's got a pretty damn good shed. Like I said, with all those amenities, it's got shower, bath, toilet, sink, everything. Right, the only thing we got here that was slightly sus, what was that I saw before? This guy here. Yeah, they look a bit sus. And so just loading up a 165. 165. Oh, naturally I don't have that scene on my selection. Great. Just bear with me a second while I set things back up. What? That's better. Alright. Okay, so bring up the microscope. Shrink that. That'll do. Bring down the bottom left. Okay, so the part we're looking at is this chap here, What are you? You're power good. Alright. I'll just take this DC inboard out. Nowhere near as exciting as a Rossmann stream, but you know, you get what you get. And I think I've just ruined everything there. So check under here. They're all good. So I want to make sure I've got 3v3S5 and right. Let's switch back to that'll suffice. Musical interlude, yeah, I could have done with that. Having a Swiss Republican gamer, no power. Did not check it yet, but I have had one of those machines, but yeah, it's been a PC. It could be anything. The trouble I have with the PCs, and I'm sure everybody's said this before, there's just you got to learn so much for each board each time. I mean, the basic areas are pretty standard either way. What? You're still... I know, you are cycling. Alright. Seems to be going all right now. That's cause for concern. Afternoon, Sonia. Let's try to put this back into its... Oh, were you bad trackpad, maybe? No. You know, people coming in here thinking they were going to be watching an iPhone 5S get its Wi-Fi chip replaced, and somehow we've turned into a A1466 00165 job. Oh well. I'll get to the 5S shortly. Okay, don't need you, don't need you. I did at least pick up an 11-inch MacBook 2013 one on the auctions. So that only cost me $100. As far as I know, it's got liquid damage. But primarily I'm after it for the screen and the chassis. If the board's damaged, it's no great concern to me. I'm just have it for donor pieces. Yeah, not energizing that screen. Just stop starting again. Let it run for a bit longer. Hey Rick. No, it is full on spinning. Looks like so it is something else. Just going to try a different DCM board just in case. Because I don't want to spend an hour on this and then come back and sort of go, oh look, it was the DCM board, I should have checked that initially. I've done that a few too many times. No. You're the wrong one. There we go. That looks in pristine condition. Not that that means much. Did that with the J7, but spent way too long on it only to find that it was something simple. I'm sure someone who knows their stuff like Lewis would be yelling at me right now, telling me to check something obvious. Alright, well, try another flex. Do repairs for your friends, so it's a pain. Yeah. No, I stopped doing that quite a while ago. Particularly when it often turned out that the friend repairs drained a lot more of my time than anything else. There was just bad luck, call it what you like, but yeah. And of course they would expect good results. But where the heck am I? Should have a whole bunch of the 1722 cross-member flexes. These flexes here, these ones that they often die. I should have a bunch of them. Yep. I'll just take it off my 3437 board instead. But I should write on it that it's mine. Otherwise what happens is I start getting a mix of parts while I'm digging around for everything, and then I get to the end and I'm not sure what is the customer's and what is mine. And what often can happen is I end up sending the customer something that was good, I mean, which you want, but not realizing it and not charging them for it. And that's just yet another bit of money lost. Which is why, when I go to the bank, holy sweet mother of God, that just... I don't know if any of you saw that. Look what it just did to my MagSafe. This is a genuine MagSafe, by the way. And that just arc welded the hell out of it. Nope, still nothing. You can tell when the screen's energized. It goes from, with the light coming in from a slight angle, it goes from a dark green look to a proper black look. And I'm not getting a proper black look. So it's definitely not the DC board, at least. Dave is talking about me. Which Dave? There's a few Daves. And I guess if it's the Dave I think you might be referring to in that context, then I'm a little concerned about what you'd be talking about. I spoke to him earlier this week, but that was purely on a business perspective, as in I was just checking for some advertising prices. He doesn't really know me from a bar of soap. Certainly we've never had any real reason to interact. Oh, niche software. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, what is he, on live or something at the moment? I said the guy doesn't know me from a bar of soap and yet he's talking about my niche software. That's a new achievement for me. Dave Jones knows who I am. Or maybe he doesn't. Is he cursing about niche software people? Can't believe I blew up my MagSafe tips then. Oh. Alright, what I'm going to have to do at this point, I want to check that I'm basically just going to have to go through the voltage thing. Check our SMC, check our G3 heart, check our, yeah, just all that stuff. It says very nice software. Oh, crikey. Alright, well, I was genuinely not expecting that from Dave. Is he running live at the moment, did you say? He's live right now. Well, that'll explain everything. Explain why I'm not getting much in the terms of attendance. I mean, hey, if Lewis is on and I'm on, I know I'd go and pay a visit to Lewis. Mostly so I control Lewis. Gotten to the point where I don't have to try and be Lewis's friend now. I can be nasty to him. God knows he's said enough bad things about me. You may have station 240. Oh, really? Well, I guess we'll see. Thank you. Alright, let's get some voltage measurements done before this thing blows up. I do not have my multimeter software set up. I'm a little uncoordinated today. I said I've been focusing on the things. And there we go. Straight up. I've got no voltage coming out of here. That should be 3.3 volts. And I got nothing. Which is good. So I was right, as in I'm not getting 3.3 volts, but the question is, why am I not getting 3.3 volts? So let's see if I've got an enable. I need to get one of those scene switcher things that Lewis has. I've thought about it a few times. PDF. Pin 13. Well, I'm getting nothing. Nada. Just don't get concussion. Yeah, try not to. I gotta say, he was pretty damn lucky that he didn't die. That is Lewis. Because believe me, it can happen so quickly and easily. Okay. Well, you can't switch off. No. No. You can't do that. Get this stupid rubber thing off. I should be getting G3 hot. Sorry, I'm rambling to myself here. I've got some more liquid down here, like a flux that someone has been working it. Is that a... No, he targets everyone doing anything. Yeah, I noticed in his last video he was trying to run down a few people. I'm not sure that's... You better be careful someone doesn't decide to... Okay, 3.42 we got. 8.6 we got, so SMC is on. Something's very wrong with the RTC area though. But Lewis has been reporting traffic violations, has he? Okay, I gotta admit, that's pretty comical. Okay, I got 342 there. Oh, now I got 3.3 here. Oh, geez, this is not going to be fun. Everything's come to life and I don't know why. Alright. What we'll do is we'll plug in a USB stick. Let's see if that reacts. I had one blue flash and that was about it, but that is normal even if it's got no data. Yep, got my 3.3. No. Maybe my wires weren't connecting. It's still not booting. Alright. I think I'm going to have to look at this one a little bit later when I've get a chance to just look around more quietly. Unfortunately, I don't go so well for on the spot things. So we'll get back to the original stream intent, which is to get my iPhone 5S a new Wi-Fi chip. Okay. Now I've already killed half the fun for this because I have already taken the chip off. That was last night. I don't do too many of these because most of the time it's because the customer, you quote them for a chip replacement or a fix and they're just sort of like, no thanks. Hey, Dodge Caliver from Greece. Arcing on the charge port, no, I did not figure that out, and I'll be honest, it's not the first time that it's happened to me. I had another one that also just basically spot welded the contacts. Yeah, I really don't know what's going on. I think it's something with the electrics of this house. Because I have the strange thing where I was talking to someone in Discord about this the other day. But say I've got an iPhone plugged in or a MacBook, and while it's plugged in with my bare hand, if I rub my finger along the metal casing, it feels like it's got a ripple texture. And the ripple it runs at a 50 or 60, or in this case 50 hertz rate. So whether you go slow or fast, the rippling is the same rate. And yeah, so it happens on phones and MacBooks. And I don't know what causes it. These are genuine units, and according to the tests I've done on the power lines here, or the internal electrics, they should be fine. There's no leakage, I just don't know what it is. And I do not know my way around electrics. Electronics, fine. Electrics, no thanks. Don't really want to be the next Mr. Crispy. Alright. This here is a perfectly good working iPhone 5S, but it's got an iCloud lock, so it's dead to me. I've got just this one today. This is a iPhone 6, and it's dead to me. And yet it's perfectly good order. It's very frustrating. Here's the motherboard of a 1342. 1342. What? I'm not really good with that one. What's the actual board number? What's the 820 number? But if you're not getting a chime, then that's a bad start, and I do not want to be cooking this at... I find with these iPhone 5S, this overfill stuff, I've got to get to about 270 before I can get rid of it. bad earth neutral somewhere. The old station, see, that would have been my thought as well, but none of the leakage trips go off, and none of the testing units make any indication whatsoever that there's any issues with that part of the circuitry in the house. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, I could well be wrong. Maybe the earthing is just not good enough. Yeah, it's marginal. What doesn't help is that we are in such an extended drought situation here that the ground is just very dry. There's almost no latent moisture in it. So it could be the quality of the earth is deteriorated quite badly. Hey Yenko, I don't have any fluorescence in this house. I don't have any CFLs. The only thing I've got are just LED lights. Stop scratching it, Paul. I could actually be a little more brutal with this, but I'd prefer to keep it intact in case I want something else off this board around this area. There's no point in me damaging more than I have to. Hey Amy, been a while since I've seen you. Have you been okay? I'm scratching down a little hard on this. I'm lifting up the poor conformal coating on the circuit board, exposing the copper. I did have my first long screw damage the other night. I mean a proper one as opposed to a, well that's damaged, the end. Customer doesn't want to pay, but a good customer of mine came in and they had a 6 Plus and it was just glowing on the background, nothing else. And I opened it up and they spent like $700 on this thing a couple of months ago, supposedly new. But yeah, it was a rebirthed 6 Plus. And I was expecting touch disease, but nope. I had a whopping great big huge gouge out of it. And I was just lucky it was only the 5V7 line. So that explains why the panel was glowing, but there was no display coming through. There is a bond between earth and neutral in the meter box, upstream of any... Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Really need some professional electricians to come in here and do their job. Okay. Let's see if I can not ruin this. It would be better if I just bought replacements of these, but that would mean waiting. And quite frankly, I'm sick of waiting for everything. A few of you might have known I bought a USB foot switch about 2.5 weeks ago, and it's still not here. And it's really frustrating because on the auction it said Australian stock, will ship it using a particular courier, which is an Australian courier. Yeah, basically it led me to believe it was here in Australia, it was ready to go probably 2 or 3 days after it was, paid for and everything. But now looking at what they're doing, they're sort of putting fake tracking IDs on these things and then they cancel it and then reissue a new one when the product actually has arrived, and then they ship it out. It's like, you filthy bastards. So now it's not going to turn up until probably Wednesday next week. Haha! I actually got it off without killing it. Hey Jason! 2877. No chime. I did damage that. Damn it. Hopefully it's not critical. I really didn't feel that. I need more practice on these, which is part of the reason why I'm doing that. I mean, I'm not personally looking to offer this really as a service on an everyday basis, but it would still be good to be able to do it if required. No dong. Can't believe I did that. So you're very much watching amateur hour on this stuff. If it's got no chime, do you have the light at least coming up, the MagSafe light? Do you have PM Sleep S4L? Where are my tweezers? Yeah, I'm getting real sick of the whole eBay, it's in the country bollocks. Because it's certainly not legit. And you can't really do much about it. I mean, I know these people, they've probably got a couple of dozen accounts on eBay. So if you get one terminated, big deal. Yeah, they just carry on to the next one because they've all got the same... Oops. They've all got the same text, they've all got the same sort of terms. It's just a really impressive business setup. I mean, they irritate the hell out of me, but I can't deny that they know what they're doing. In terms of, they know how to make their money, and they know how to remain immune to it, to being shut down and stuff. I mean, no one's going to put that much effort into chasing them. It was my own fault. I should have looked at their feedback rating. If I'd done that, I would have seen a whole bunch of people complaining the same sort of stuff. Okay, so you got green light, so your 3V42's alive, but what's your PP bus value? Do you have 1256 or something lower? Not too confident with this particular tool, which is why I got to practice. It's one of those strange tools that it doesn't seem sharp until you run it across something that you're not supposed to run it across something, and all of a sudden it's like his master's instrument or something. I can't remember the name of the book I read. His book where it's a 3-book series. What is it? Can't remember now. Anyway, there's the subtle blade, I think it's called, and it just sort of cuts through everything. It's not a lightsaber. Alright, so we've got the solder off that. know they made a movie out of the first book and it really didn't take off. What was it called? The Golden Compass, I think it was. But that was just book 1. They could have made that a whole lot darker, the whole thing. It sort of lended itself to being a much darker series, but they didn't end up going that way. His master's materials or something like that, I can't remember. But what's the value of PV Bus G3 Hot? Is it 1256 or is it 12.2? Yeah. Maybe I'll just reball it. Chips like this I don't really like reballing. The not really, because you got to, for a start, you got to scrape all this stuff off properly. I mean, otherwise it could be SMCs not working properly. I mean, you can have your green light, but there could be something else going on. There's too many possibilities. I mean, it's such a generic sort of failure. .6, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's the other thing, the audio, the chip that hides under the foam. The capacitor, I mean. Hey, Malta McMurtry would not like to try saying that after a few pints. It's just finished, right. I'm gonna have to go and have a look at that at Dave's stream. He's probably gonna... Yeah, I was not expecting that at all from Dave. Give me something to watch. Maybe turn this weekend into something nice. Because right now I'm really not having a good one with the whole bank affair situation. That's the way it goes. So I can't blame the banks. They're just, what do you call it, risk management. But what have I done? I was looking at my SMC stencil. Not my SMC stencil, just my stencils. Is this one going to be any good? Oh, that should work. I keep my stencils and everything in a container with alcohol in them now. So when I take them out, they're all clean of flux. Much easier this way. So is that you're gonna fit? You're the right size? You're not really? No. Not even remotely close. Alright. Looks like I am gonna have to get a proper one. Stencils. Stencils. This means I'm now being forced to have to use one of the god-awful, cheap, nasty, barely work stencils. There we go. Dave streams on his second channel, so you might miss it otherwise. Okay. Thank you for letting me know that. Not really much of a patriot in that respect. I sort of tend to miss a lot of people's streams. A lot of it's simply just because I'm flat out trying to keep the lights on here. My goodness. This is a dreadful stencil. I haven't washed it. This is... I should send this to Lewis. This is a horribly abused stencil. It's curved. Everything's wrong with it. It's dirty. It's unloved. And I'm just making it worse. So what we're going to get here is one use out of this stencil. And that's it. Now, I'm not going to be able to use my normal technique. Because normally these days what I do now with a good stencil is I don't even bother using tweezers or anything to hold it down. Instead I put the paste on and then treat it very much like it's going to go into a reflow oven. So it just bakes it up. And because of the very even heat, it doesn't have the tendency to buckle. Oh, this is going to be fun. I keep going for the wrong keyboard thing. There we go. See how bad this can go. Fortunately, it's a fairly coarse pitch device, so shouldn't give us too much grief. Although it is so... those pads are so large that I may actually be better off using wet paste, or certainly something slightly wet. Let's try this. Yeah, you just want to move everywhere. Oh gee. Ah, nah. Off you come. Yeah, that's not going to work. Stuff it. I say we just treat it like a DFN and hope we get lucky. Make sure we add a bit of cat hair there. That will be from one of my girls. They don't get to come into this room, but their hair still does. So yeah, we're just going to treat this like a DFN. Just go along, create some pads that don't look too bad. That's obviously way too much. Have to get those middle pads under control. I probably should have put those on the... Probably should have put those on the board. Another good reason for buying pre-made ones. or pre-ball, whatever you want to call it. And you're going to see some lead melting up around the edges here. Come back here. Anyone here know a cure for white setting on screen on iPhone 6? Replacing Wi-Fi temporarily fixes it, but returns after a couple of days. Let's see. No long screw damage. That sounds like perhaps there's a part floated off a pad somewhere on one of the connectors. I mean, I could be wrong. And as for the 5S for the intermittent touch, that's usually the touch chip on that. I've had a few. Sometimes you can get away with just reflowing it, and that works. Other times you have to replace it. I forget the name of the chip, but at least it's not a underfilled or anything. It's pretty easy. I've got a video of where I did one. Yeah, I'm gonna try my luck. Why not? It's Friday, mate. Time to kick back, take it easy. I really should be doing some software coding, but I'm not in the mood. Well, if you haven't checked to see if it's the screen, then I'd probably say it's statistically it'd be 95% likely to be the screen, 5% likely to be the chip. But of course, if you have tried it with a different screen, you still get the same results, then yeah. Alright, next great big question. What's the orientation here? Better go and cheat and have a look at my board view. Alright, well, that confirms that at least. So it's up here. Pin 1 out there. Crikey. Press the wrong key. Yeah, I'd definitely be trying a new screen first. No way I would start digging around without trying that first. Okay, so I've got it in the right orientation. Whoa. Probably got a wee bit too much flux under there. Definitely got a wee bit too much flux. No, no, no. Come on, Paul. Floating it too much hot air. Back there. Thank God most of the stuff here is not underfilled, else I would have ruined this already. Oh, this is one thing. I just did a really dumb thing then. I didn't wait for this solder here to cool off. And they take quite a while with this stuff. And what can happen is if you go in and you brush on the... you start brushing away, trying to clean away your flux, and you start spluttering that low melt solder everywhere. So don't be like me, don't be an idiot and splutter your solder everywhere, because it messes up your phones afterwards, I found. Let's try this again with even less flux. That didn't even sit down. Yeah, this is the don't do what Paul does channel, that's for sure. The problem I've got here is I don't have a feel for what this chip wants to get back down. No. Ha! Alright, I am clearly incompetent at this. Alright. So what am I gonna do? Hey Cormac. Wait, did I already say hi to you before? I can't remember. But I'm very happy with the Quick. Yeah, there's a couple of little things I wouldn't mind changing. Like, I'm definitely more a fan of the... I would have preferred a rotary input, rotary encoder, rather than damn up-down buttons. I'm not a big fan of the up-down button stuff. Hey Zero. Now if I could get the paste onto here using a stencil, that'd be fine. Let's give this a wash down. Give it a wash down, and then maybe with the solder that we've got on there, it will hold the stencil sufficiently in place for me to rebuild it. Probably not really the best stream for people who have just watched Dave Jones come over to have a look at. Like, oh god, damn it Dave, what are you doing recommending or saying nice things about this guy? If he did say nice things. How the hell people used to do these stencils before the advent of the 3D stencils is beyond me. Let's try to cheat our way out of this. Oh, come on. You couldn't be just a little wider? Oh. Trying to find a hole big enough to put this in. That's like... no. Remember folks, don't do this at home because I don't know what I'm doing. This is called Friday afternoon, don't give a damn, let's try something new. Let's try get some skill points, let's go on a campaign that we've never gone on before. And then wonder why we died. Oh, that's sitting too low. GSF forum, yeah, I used to use them, but what'd you say? Yeah, GSM, yeah. Yeah, I used to use them, but you're right, it sort of turned into something rather useless now, which is a shame. Yeah, maybe you'll sit low enough. Not really. Alright, what I'm going to try here is... it's not going to be a case of... this is going to be more of a traditional type stencil and pasting system, where you apply the paste, you take the stencil away, and then you reball it, or you reheat it. I have no idea how that's going to work, but we're going to give it a whirl. So normally I'm used to... Come on. Okay, like that. And then usually you can get the damn stencil off. That's not going to work. You need to be drier. See how there's too much bleed between them? That's why it has to be drier. Napkin under the chip. Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. It's funny, you forget the things that you used to do to get around the problems, but when you find a new way of doing things. And it's only when you encounter the old problem again that you get reminded. That was a loud car. Well, that car had additives in its fuel. Ah, disgusting. It's another reason I want to move out of this area. Just the exhaust fumes from the cars alone, they're just too much. Alright, Cormac, thanks for dropping in. Okay, we're going to try a much drier paste this time. The trouble with trying to use the drier paste is you can't squeegee it in quite as easy. But we'll give it another go. This is definitely not like my SMC reball. The SMC reballs, no problem at all. I guess this is why I leave the iPhone stuff to the professionals. Look, I usually send my stuff off to a fellow called Bill down at A1 Mobile Repairs. He's down in Sydney. I've had good results with his work. Very happy with him. So there's too much grabbing going on now. I'm going to have to just accept that. And I'm going to have to use tweezers, as much as I hate using tweezers. I can already see this is going to be a disaster. Hello, Buckle. Yeah, that's a big fat F no. Give me a goddamn SMC any day. Bit big. I'll try to find the ball 0. What happened to the ball that was there? It's got to come through somewhere. There it is. Well, if this doesn't work out, I will. Come on, come on, come on, come on, work for me. Aha! Got it. That one there is a little bit big. Tell you what, half the troubles would be avoided if we could find holders for these damn chips. Yeah, I've just got to nip a little bit off that one. Hey Dan, good to see you. Definitely not the master today. Very much the disaster. No master, just disaster. Still too big. Yeah, if I put the stencil back in, I'm probably going to end up messing up something else. I'd rather take my chance here. There we go. That's pretty damn close. And I had to take it too far because I'm just an idiot. Come on. Sure, Jester Jones was watching this, should be freaking out. But like I said, this isn't a customer's phone. This isn't something I normally do. This is just me having a shot at something different when I probably should be working on that MacBook Air. And somehow or another I got a bridge there. That was not expected. Doesn't even look like a proper bridge. Remember folks, buy new and then you won't have to do this. But I suppose if you're just stuffing around and testing, then there's no harm. Can't hurt to get some more skill points. Oh wow, you guys really just... Really? Oh, fire truck. Oh, that's it. Ah. Can't believe that. Wait, totally can believe that. Flux. I should really just get rid of those now and redo it through the stencil. God knows I've got enough balls lying around in here though. Should have known that was going to happen. Yep, there goes the Friday afternoon lunatics. Too much. I think we're just going to have to do it again. I do not like having to do these stencils multiple times. It's just a shame you can't use the... it's just a shame I don't have a 3D stencil for this particular one. Character building, yes, that's a perfectly apt term to use. Sort of things your parents tell you when you're having a rough time. Or when they send you out to the wilderness for a couple of weeks Do they do that at schools anymore? Yeah, send you off for a week somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Where you don't even get to have toilet paper, or half the time you barely get any food. Unless that's character building. The sad thing is, you know, it's terrifying while you're on it, while it's happening to you. But for some truly dumb reason, when you get back, and after a couple of months, you've forgotten all about the terror that you went through, and you get this strange urge to go back again. You know, that was fun. And then you get there again, and you're like, what the hell am I talking about? Yeah, it's kind of like getting drunk, I suppose, which is why I don't get drunk. Truly god-awful stencil. Hey, Death Pump. I think I might add a couple more layers on the stencil. Not the stencil. These napkins are already 3 layers thick. So add 6. Helps trigger the survival instinct. Yeah, so if anyone is watching this video afterwards in my stream, this is definitely not the way to do it. Best way to do it is go and buy another flippin' pre-balled one. I'm not worried about the center pads. At least I can always get to them later. The paste is moderately dry, but it's not quite dry enough. You can see they're puffing out a little bit, so that's why I'm just holding back. And it just gives a chance for that flux to vaporize and get out of there. I mean, you don't want it all gone, but you want enough of it gone so it doesn't bobble up underneath the pad and spit your balls out. There we go. Okay, looks like they just flashed over. I mean, even if they're lead-free, I mean, obviously 99% of them probably will be lead-free. Still probably a damn sight easier than this. I'm just happy enough with that now that I can clean up my paste. I don't want to have residual paste floating around. It'd be bad news for me to have residual paste on the table and I start eating my pizza and I start becoming a crazy man. Not going to be long now, and I'm not going to be able to stay in this room during the day. It's already getting uncomfortable. Welcome to the Australian summer. Alright. And I didn't bother to put air conditioning into this room because I thought I'd be out of here by now, that I'd be heading to the new place, but whoop, that didn't happen. Well, it hasn't yet. It's a little bit dirty, but I'd say we definitely can put that thing down and it should actually sit this time. Guess I better clean this up. Well, I've got some whopping great big windows in here. I've got two 1.2 by 1.8 meter windows, but it's just not enough. It's because the air itself outside becomes incredibly hot. There's no way around it. Flux. I was practicing on doing CPUs the other day, iPhone CPUs. Let me just say, I'm never doing them again, at least not in a hurry. Okay, it's floating up too high on those center pads. Yeah, minus 40. Hey, look, I wouldn't be a fan of that either. Certainly not belittling the cold either. I mean, at least you can live in 40 odd Celsius. It's not nice. But minus 40, you go outside, yeah, you're dead. So yeah, definitely not belittling that. Where was the summer of hell? Oh, Amy. Here we go. One thing I found, Q's Tech, was that the pitch spacing on, I think it was the iPhone 6, is the same as... Oh, crikey, I can't remember the chip that I was working on. Oh, I was way out of sync with that. And she's down. I was way, way out of alignment there. Let's have a look. Yeah, there's some distinct unevenness there. I'll give it a little bit more flux, give it another reflow. I'll give it a chance to even itself up a bit more, because I didn't have a lot of flux at all on the start. Because I was worried about it skimming off. At least now that it's bonded, it's not going to go anywhere. Check VCC main for short. That's a good idea. And thank you for telling me, because I would have, honestly, at this point, I probably would have just gone, she'll be right, mate. Let me just power her up. And then I'll be all, oh, crikey. Just see the flames coming out of that thing. Yeah, okay, that's good. Recently, replaced a RAM chip on iPhone 6, replaced with a known good one, found out CPU was shorted out. Oh, no fun, no fun. Central Illinois. Hello. Illinois. It's one of those funny state names that you pronounce differently to what you'd expect from an outsider perspective. VCC main. $27, $28. Let's see, what's an easy one for me to get to? This one here. I'll make it easy. Big cap behind U12. What? A big inductor, I mean. God, I'm an idiot. We've got open line. Actually, I shouldn't say open line. Oh no, that's bad, bad, bad. It's not open line, it's over limit. And your multimeter says, oh well, it's over limit. So let's put all the dialing a wash down. Yeah, Qs, it is certainly, I prefer it to ZXW, it's just unfortunate the quality of the data is not much chop. That's not the program's fault, it's just Unfortunately, the data files came from pads, and they were bad to start with, so it didn't matter what I did. But I am working on a solution for that. Same old story though, time and money. We'll get there. I hope I didn't float the EEPROM on this side. That would have been most unfortunate. Alright, let's give it a whirl, eh? Okay, let's go back to that. Alright, don't be surprised if this doesn't work. I certainly would be far more surprised if it did work. It was a good practice to try and ball up that damn chip. Okay. Well, I haven't connected the Wi-Fi, but I don't really need it because I've got a router just behind me and to the side of me. So it hopefully will pick up something. Just not a lot of signal strength, but that's okay. We just want to show it. Come on. Oops. We'll get some power in. It's 5S. Yeah, and a lot of the data in the pads file is actually just awfully incorrect. So I think the best way for dealing with that is that I just have... Yeah, thanks buddy, really appreciate your loud vehicle. Yeah. There's a lot of small member syndrome around this town. Seriously, you're that bad at connection? You really are. Oh well. So here we go. Oh. Helps if you turn it on. Oh well, we're beating at least. Hello from Germany. Damn it, I wish I had something a little more useful than it's not Guten Abend. Guten Morgen? No. I used to know some German. I don't anymore. Forgotten. Sorry. It looks like it's booting normally still. I'm getting 1 amp up here. Favorite spudger? Yeah, okay, I'll do that in a little bit, Matthew. I can't take my finger off this power connector. Oh, come on. 1200. You're getting a little long, a little hot. Should have booted by now. Yeah, there we go. Not now. Okay, whatever. Wi-Fi. No. It looks like it's dead. So either I've killed the chip's not sitting properly, or something else is at play. So I'm not overly surprised about that. I didn't even know if that other one was a working chip anyway, but I'd say it's more likely through my own actions that this is not working. Wi-Fi address non-applicable. Bluetooth is active. AIM ID is good. Yeah. Alright. I thought Bluetooth was in the same module. Now, spudger, since it looks like that's a dead end anyway. Like I said, I don't even have the Apple ID for that one, so no biggie. It was good practice. So you don't need the internet? No. Not for that. Let's see. It should still show the Wi-Fi MAC address and things like that. Alright, so this is the spudger. I think I have to put it on a white background as it over. It's getting pretty beaten up now, but you can see it's solid metal. Yeah, it's not plated or anything like that. I don't know what sort of metal it is, and you can see it comes down to a fairly fine tip, and I can grind that if I need to. It doesn't seem to lose its strength if I grind it. But oh, here we go. This is never seen this before. What does that say? Long Ma. As in, yeah, Long Ma. You watch, it's probably some fancy nail salon brand. Yeah, so it's just a single piece of what appears to be stainless. I don't know what sort of stainless it is, but it's quite thin, no plating. And I just have not been able to find another one. I found others that are like it, but they're all plated with chrome, or they're too thick. So let's see if I got the other one that I don't like using. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so this here, you can see the distinct difference. You can see that's plated. And you can see, oops. You can see the plating is ablating. The plating is ablating. You see the plating is coming off on the tip here. So it makes it very hard to actually get it down to a nice smooth end like these, because it just keeps coming off. So you can see there's a large chunk there. And although it's quite thin, for some reason it just does not feel as thin as this one. And it may be, I'm not sure why, but it just doesn't. But yeah, it looks like it's been dipped. And that was the closest I could find as a replacement, and it's still no good. And this one, yeah, you can see it's, I think I must have got this from Union Repair or something. But it's no good. Alright, well, failure on that one. I might redo a stream tonight with the MacBook Air and have a better look at it. I just wasn't quite in the right mindset to do that. I was more interested in getting this Wi-Fi chip. What I might try to do is buy... I'm losing my voice. I haven't had a drink of water in a while. I might buy a proper 5S Wi-Fi module and see if that works. At least then I know it's balled right, and yeah, it eliminates a lot of the variables, predominantly the variables involving meat. So I'm going to leave it at that. I appreciate you all dropping in. I'm going to have a look at the Dave stream, see what he said about me. Thank you all for letting me know about that. I would never have known otherwise. And I maybe see you later in about perhaps another 6 or 8 hours time. Anyway, until then, you all take care.